Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada येनाक्षरसमाम्न्यायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम् वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थः प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Namaste everyone, welcome to class. Let me pull it up, our due now. Let's see if we can. So we started off with some Sandhi exercises, which are going to be up on the board in a second. They're not showing up. Hold on one second. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, there we go. So some vowel sandhis. So we're seeing, in the context of things, right? We're seeing on one side, we're seeing all the different pratipadikas, and parallel to that, we're seeing sandhi exercises, right? Because both are needed for analyzing texts, for reading texts, right? We need to be able to understand how the words are combined and how they look in the text, but also then what is the pratipadika, what is the meaning, and how is the sentence formed. So both are going to be needed, and so that's why we're doing both parallelly, right? Because you see all these sandhis in Mundaka Upanishad, for example. So the first one, we have vidya and avidya. So we have a next to a. Then it's savarna dirgha sandhi, right? So vidya, 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 vidya. Sura plus ishvaraha. We have a plus e. So when you have a short a and you have e or u or r, l, right? You get guna sandhi. So sureshvaraha. Mundaka plus Upanishad. A plus U becomes O. So Mundakopanishad. Gunasandhi. Jiva plus Atma. A plus A. So these look similar. So they're savarna. Savarna means they look similar. Right? So A and A look similar. So it's Jivatma. Yoga plus Indraha. So A meaning E. A and E make A. So Yogendraha. Yogendra. So if you remember Tattva-bodha, Vasudevendra Yogendra, the prayer in the beginning. This is Yogendra, the best among all yogins. Okay. So let's continue. We're going to go to vrddhi-sandhiḥ. So vrddhi-sandhiḥ we were looking at last time. Vrddhi-sandhiḥ is in our book. It's in our Sandhi book. You can tell me what page it's on so everyone else will find it there. Yep, so it's... And Harprasad ji, you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
It may be just some typos in the first exercise you gave us. If you can go back, if you can.
Yep.
It is, first of all, is a mundaka. I think there might be a typo there.
Okay.
And there's a typo in jiva.
So jiva is correct. Oh, jiva. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me fix this. Okay. I'll fix this. Yeah. No worries.
And
thank you. I'm typing these on this new keyboard, so trying to type in Devanagari, so it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I want to correct myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mundaka and Jiva.
Okay. So let's look at vrddhi-sandhiḥ. This is page 49. Page 49, we see vrddhi-sandhiḥ in our book. So vrddhi-sandhiḥ is, again, it's a ach-sandhi. So ach-sandhi is when you have a vowel meeting a vowel. Okay. So here we've seen when a meets a or long a, we've seen when a meets e, u, r, l. Right? We've already seen that in part of Savarna Dirgha, and we saw that as part of Guna Sandhi. Now, if you look at the next set of vowels, right? So we've seen when a meets, hold on, let me erase all of this. We've seen when a meets a, e, u, r, l. Now what we're doing is when avarna meets all of these diphthongs, essentially. Right? But not all of them. When it meets all of the diphthongs. H. H is a, o, I, ow. Sorry, can you see that? A, o, I, ow. So when avarna, so one a or a meet H. A, o, I, ow. Not the simple vowel, but these diphthongs here. So this is vrddhi-sandhiḥ. So avarna meeting H. And then what happens is both get replaced by something called vriddhi. Vriddhi is a technical word, okay? It has a specific meaning in this context. And it's a name for these three letters down here. A, I, and O. A, I, O. So we saw this last time. So when avarna meets H, then both gets replaced by vriddhi, which is one of these three letters. Okay. Now, which one of these letters becomes a substitute is decided according to the sthana of the original letter. So sthana means the place of pronunciation in the mouth. Okay, so depending on where they're pronounced in the mouth, this is how they get replaced. So for example, if we see the first one, right? We saw this when I have avarna, or a, followed by A. A is one of the H. Both get replaced by I. Because a or a is guttural, A is guttural palatal, the vriddhi letter is going to be this guttural palatal letter. Either way, right? I said this one, they kind of look similar, so it's easier to remember like that, right? It's pretty easy to remember because they look similar. So when I have avarna next to A, they get replaced by I. So if I have cha plus eva, then they both become, and that A both get replaced by I. So chaiva. Same with the next one, tatha plus eva, the akara plus A, both get replaced by I. So tathaiva. Okay, just to remember, what is our vriddhi letters? A, I, O. Okay. So now let's look at the next thing, right? We're seeing them in order. When I have avarna meeting O, which is one of our diphthongs, both get replaced by O. Ow. Right? Ouch. Ow. And this makes sense because O is guttural labial, meaning it's with our throat and our lips, and ow is made with our throat and our lips, the sound. So you get jala plus ogaha becomes jalaogaha. Right? We saw ogaha means a stream, or it could mean a flow of water. Right? So jala is water, oga is a stream or a flow. So flow of water. Ganga plus ogaha is gangogaha. These look pretty similar again, so they're pretty easy to remember that they go together. You just get one more feather in its cap. Let's look at this next one. Remember that H, right, let's just go back, sorry, to move around so much. H is all of these letters, okay? And within this group right here, we have some vriddhi letters, right? I and O in this group itself. So when a varna meets I, they both get replaced by I, because I is one of the vriddhi letters. So yeah, I is one of the vriddhi letters. Does that make sense? So this is one of the H, this is one of the diphthongs, and this is one of the vriddhi letters. So this one is most similar to this one, and so then it's going to replace it. So deva plus aishwaryam becomes devaishwaryam. So this akara basically goes away, finally is what happens, right? Maha plus aishwaryam becomes mahaishwaryam. Last one here, right? When I'm or avarna, so or a, which means ow, ow. They both get replaced by ow. So we have here the example deva plus oshadham becomes devoshadham. Maha plus oshadam becomes mahoshadham. Oshadam means medicine. Mahoshadam. So any questions so far with these? We saw that last time. We don't have any examples where we've, so a is also one of the vriddhi letters. We don't see a chance where we get a in these, right? We see a as a vriddhi, we see it in different contexts, but here we don't really use a as a replacement of any of these. Okay, so we have these four. Avarna and A becomes I. Avarna plus O becomes O. Avarna plus I becomes I. Avarna plus O becomes O. Okay, so let's do some examples, okay? Let's see if I have any examples here. Oh, I don't have them here. Let me just pull it up. 1 second. So this is on that same page, right? So iha plus eva. Okay, what do we have on the left side? We have purva. Purva is akara. Para is a. A plus a, I put one feather in its hat. Okay, so ihaiva. Ihaiva. Number 2, tatra plus eva. Same thing. Right? Tatraiva. Okay, let's look at number 5. Can you tell me in the chat, number 5? Ganga plus ogaha. We know this one. Ganga plus ogaha becomes? Yeah, I can see you saying it with your mouth. Yeah, perfect. It takes one more feather in its hat, right? Gangogaha. Yeah, gangogaha. What happens if it already has 2 feathers in its hat, like number 6? Krishna plus Otkantyam. Then it just, you get O again, right? So Krishna Otkantyam. So when it already has 2 feathers, you don't add a third. We only have 2 as our maximum, okay? Okay, so ihaiva, tatraiva. Number 3, viditvainam, kritvaitat, gangogaha, krishnaukantyam. Okay. Number 1, resolving the sandhi. Okay, so I already have, this is a little bit more difficult. Clearly, I replaced something here, right? I replaced something. It can replace either a or I itself. Right? So it can be Brahma eva, or it can be Brahma aiva, but there's no such word as aiva. So you have to know some vocabulary. Brahma eva. Tathaiva, number 2. Again, right? We have I. So I can replace a, or it can replace I itself. Right? So some kind of avarna and a or I. Sorry, I don't know which hands. I think it mirrors. So this is avarna, and then this is a or I. So we don't have any word tata. We have tata and I eva. Tata eva. Tata eva. So you just have to know some vocabulary, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. We have to know some vocabulary. Eva means alone, right? Tata means in this manner. Thus. Okay, let me plug in this. Okay, then we have ekaikam. Right, okay, let's look at some different examples. These are kind of all the same. Let's look at number 8. Mahoshniyam. So I have O, right? O replaces 2 things, right? Avarna, and it can replace O, or it can replace Ao. So it can be Maha Oshnyam, or it can be Maha Oshnyam. And here is maha aushnyam, AU. Okay, that's just the word, aushnyam. Oshnam means heat. So maha aushnyam, great heat. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. So if there's no questions, let's see, okay, something appeared. Number 7, bimboshti, bimboshti. So this is bimba and oshti. I have to find out, I don't know what oshti means, to be honest. So we'll have to look that up. Oshti. Number 6, maivam. Ma evam, right? Ma means may not. So not. So ma evam. May this not, well, so there's no sentence. You have to create a sentence, but it means not only. Not alone. 5, saisha, right? So I have avarna and it can be a or I. So this is a little bit difficult. We haven't learned feminine yet, right? So feminine of tad-śabdhaḥ is esha. So if sa, esha, that, this in feminine. Sa means that in feminine, esha means this in feminine. Okay, so we've learned feminine, so this really shouldn't be here quite yet, but these are 2 separate books, so which one should come first is a good question. It can't be saha eshaha because it's esha, right? So it's feminine, esha, feminine. So it should be sa esha. We can't, if it was masculine, you can't get that a at the end. Okay, let's look, okay, so let's just quick review. Okay, if I have avarna next to a, what should I get? I, right? Okay, if I have avarna, if I have avarna next to I, then what should I get? I, both get replaced by I. If I have avarna next to O, like, then I get ow. Both get replaced by ow. If I have avarna next to ow, then ow. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, so I think we got this. So let's switch books quickly. We're going to switch books to page 101 of our book 1. Foundations book, page 101. We're going to look at tad-śabdhaḥ quickly. Okay. So page 101. So we've seen sarva last time, right? Sarva in napumsakalinga. So we're in neuter gender, right? 3 genders. We've seen masculine gender so far. We're entered into neuter gender, napumsakalinga, and we'll see strilinga, feminine, after some time, right? So Napumsaka Linga, we have these 4 other pronouns which look very similar, right? We have tad, yad, etad, and kim. We've seen all 4 of these words already in masculine. And they look very similar to masculine, sort of. They're a mix of a few things. They look like sarva, right? Sarva looks like jnana plus Rama Shabda. Yeah, does that make sense? The first 2 look like jnana, jnanam, jnane, jnanani, jnanam, jnane, jnanani. And then 3 onwards just looks like Rama, right? Except in sarva, right? Sarva, we have 4-1, right? Sarvasmai. 5-1, sarvasmat. 6-3, sarvesham. Right? 7-1, sarvasmin. Right? These are some differences we see. So these differences carry on here. So when we look at tad-śabdhaḥ, tad is a pronoun for that, right? So if I want to say that, it can be an object, it can be a person, it can be a thing, and I just want to refer to all of those as that, right? Then I use tad-śabdhaḥ. It's a pronoun. It stands for those things. So we're going to get just like sarvam, sarve, sarvani, okay? Except 1-1 and 2-1 are slightly different, okay? Tad or tad. Okay. Now the rest, we have to imagine that instead of tat, it's ta, just ta, ta. So instead of sarve, we get te. Instead of sarvani, we get tani. So ta, and then you get ani, so tani. Okay. So tad, te, tani. So you're going to repeat after me. Tad, te, tani. Tad, te, tani. Yes, we are in Bharatanatyam class. Okay, this is exactly what is happening. Tad, te, tani. Tad, te, tani. Right? Okay, number 3. Tena, tabhyam, taihi. Fourth case, tasmai tabhyam tebhyah. Tasmai tabhyam tebhyah. Fifth case, tasmat tabhyam tebhyah. Sixth case, tasya tayoho tesham. 7th, tasmin tayoho teshu. Okay, but there's no sambodhana calling out for tad-śabdhaḥ. Okay, so tad-te-tani, tena tabhyam taihi, etc. So if we look at this example, for example, if we're going to fill this in, right? Number 1, dukkham anubhuyate. So we want to put tad before that. Yeah, tad 1-1 is just tad. So tad dukkham anubhuyate. What is tad 1-1 masculine? Saha. Saha. Okay, so now you know which, if it's masculine or neuter, because they're going to look differently. So saha dukkham anubhuyate, that wouldn't work there, but that would be masculine, and this would be tad dukkham anubhuyate. So that sorrow or pain is experienced, anubhuyate. Let's look at number 3. Okay, let's, for time's sake, right? Blank anat shariram jayate. So it's like sarva, which is sarva smat. So it's going to be tasmat. Tasmat annat shariram jayate. So the body is born from that food. Fifth case, from that. Number 4. Blank karyanam karanam asti. Can you tell me in the chat what is number 4? So I'm getting some answers. Okay, yep, sorry. So it's tesham. Tesham. Like sarvesham. So this is tesham. Okay, so tesham. So this is not 6-1. We're looking at 6-3. So some people wrote tasya, but this is tesham. Okay. 1 second. Just wanted this. Okay. So tesham. Now let's look at so number 9 will be the same thing, right? Tesham shastranam tattvam janati saha. Okay. Number 5. You can also tell me in the chat. Yeah. Tasmin, right? In this, usually, depends on the context, right? But tasmin aranye phalani vartante. So the fruits remain in that forest. So not this. I think I said this before. That, right? This is that. That forest. Okay, and number 6 through 10, same kind of formations here. Okay, so if you can try to close your eyes, or if you need to look at the book, we can go through them together. Okay, ready? Tad, te, tani. You can say it again with me, right? Tad, te, tani. Tena, tabhyam, taihi. Fourth case, tasmai, tabhyam, tebhyah. Fifth case, tasmat, tabhyam, tebhyah. Sixth case, tasya, tayoho, tesham. Seventh case, tasmin, tayoho, teshu. Bas. No sambodhana. Yeah, so that's okay. So take some practice, just look over these, but the meanings are pretty simple, right? So it's just that, and then you have to see what the vibhakti is, right? And then depending on the vibhakti artha, you can translate. So for example, right, you say that, or in this, or by this, or sorry, by that, in that, by that, etc. It depends on the vibhakti artha. Okay, so let's take a 5-minute break till 8:10. We'll start our class at 8:10, and I'll take some questions in between. Yeah. So Har Prasad ji, go ahead.
Yes, Sam. This is a kind of a basic question for you.
Yeah.
Kim. The word Kim means what?
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
is Kim a Napumsakalinga word?
So Kim can be in all three genders.
So when it is
Depending
in
on what,
masculine,
it refers to. So depending on what it's standing for or referring to, then the gender changes, right? So if I'm saying Kim dukkham anubhuyate, Kim is referring to another neuter word, dukkham. So it's going to take that gender. But if I say kaha ramaha anubhuyate, which Rama is experienced, right? There, kaha, right? Kim refers to masculine Rama, so then it's going to go in masculine. So depending on what it's qualifying or what it stands for, right, then it's going to change the gender.
Okay, then the Sarvanama for Kim in masculine is Kaha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kaha means what? Kim means what?
Yeah.
So Kim in Napumsakalinga, Kim equals what? Is it referring to only to Napumsakalinga things?
Yeah, so if you see the word, so there's Kim, which is the pratipadika.
Yeah.
But this Kim pratipadika can be in all three genders, right?
Yeah.
It happens to be a neuter. Kim 1-1 is also Kim.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when you see Kim in a sentence and it's already declined, then it will be neuter. You can safely say it's neuter. Because you won't see Kim you won't see Kim otherwise in a sentence.
Okay.
That makes sense? But if I say kaha or kena or kabhyam, etc., then it might be a different gender. It might be masculine.
Okay. All right.
Well, we can talk more about this next time if you have more questions. We're going to decline it now.
Okay.
So the homework would just be to finish 6 through 10, right, with tad-śabdhaḥ.
Yeah.
And then review vrddhi-sandhiḥ, okay? So just to make sure that's clear. Just one thing is that mundaka is not mundaka, okay? So mundaka is short akara, just so that was correct in the earlier, okay? So it is mundaka, not mundaka. It's short akara.